I know
Well,
that.
I know you know Samit.
I know Samit. Know you. Kinda.
His name's
David, yeah. And I know you. You're Molly.
Molly. This is Simon.
And
Hello.
Max, we met when you were presenting your Utopian Island.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And this is Allie.
I'm Allie. Hi. Thanks for having me.
Thank you guys for coming. This is awesome.
Thank you.
And Max, whenever you're ready, you can start. Just
Okay.
cue me when you need
So
to switch slides.
my project is going to be to make a recipe book to help low-income families and people that just have a hard time making food, for like their families or just for themselves. So the problem I found was that it was hard for people to make inexpensive, healthy food while like not having it take like a couple hours. And I realized this when my class watched a documentary, and it showed that it was easier for low-income families to go to Burger King or other fast food restaurants than to go to the grocery store and shop for healthy food, because it was really expensive and cheap. I mean, not cheap, and it took a lot of time when they could just drive up to the Burger King and order drive-thru. My solution was to make a recipe book, and I was going to put 6 recipes, 3 for each meal at least, and I was going to, and all the recipes are going to be researched, and they're going to be easy to make and healthy. Wait, go back. Yeah, and I'm also going to donate one for every one purchased. And my audience is going to be, I'm trying to sell the book to college students, because I know college students have busy, they're really busy, and also like people that want to be more healthy, like health addicts, health nuts kind of. Wait, my independent variable is the quality of the food that people eat, and the quality is the nutritional value compared to the affordability, because I'm kind of trying to find a medium.
Wait, can you go back real quick?
Yeah.
Sorry, I need a second to digest this.
Okay.
Okay.
My dependent variable is going to be the health and financial stability of the people that use my recipe book. And I'm going to do that. I'm going to figure that out by doing a survey of how they feel, how healthfully and financially. Okay, my steps are to make 2 recipes for each meal. Wait, I don't know these. I'm going to look. 2 recipes for each meal, so 6 total. That's like the minimum. And I'm going to research people's favorite foods and costs in food stamps, because I know a lot of low-income families use food stamps. And I can do that by posting it on Reddit or doing a Google search. And I can also survey people in my class. I'm going to test my recipe ideas and serve samples to people in my class, and specifically Miriam, because apparently she's really picky about food to see. And I'm going to research what would be compelling to purchase for my audience. And I'm going to research accessibility, because as it said in the documentary, it was very expensive, and I need to find a place where you can get that balance between affordability and quality. I'm also going to compile the final recipes and prepare a design, and then I'm going to create a plan for selling and publishing it, and I'm going to find a publisher. That's all I have now, because it seems pretty far in the future. Okay, do I have any questions?
Good presentation. Did anybody want me to go back to any slides that I needed a review? Yeah?
Could I go back to the audience?
That's pretty sure.
Oh, the independent variable one?
That's the solution slide.
That one.
Yeah.
Max, could I ask a quick question about the audience? So the targeting of college students, is that using an accessible sample of people who might be more lower income because they're struggling through college, but also might be interested in health as a way to project what just low-income families in general might respond to, or are the college students your whole, population you're hoping to benefit?
Well, what I'm hoping to do is to sell the book to the college students and Health Nuts, and then take those profits and turn them into more books that I can donate to low-income families that probably wouldn't be able to afford it.
I'm not sure if you've thought of models like there's a shoe company that was doing this for a while.
Tom's.
They were
Yeah.
like was it
Tom's.
Yeah, where you buy one pair of shoes, and for every pair of shoes that you buy, they donate.
Yeah, that's where I got the idea.
Okay, great.
So there's a lot of versions of healthy out there.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people can think different things are healthy. Do you have one thing that you're sort of saying this is what healthy is, and so this is how I'll pick the rest?
Well, what I'm trying to do for health is to find a balance between the cost and the nutritional value, to see because healthy food like Whole Foods and stuff, that's really expensive, but then there's stuff like Safeway, which isn't as expensive and is has more chemicals in it. So I'm trying to find a balance, kind of like a Trader Joe's maybe, or Hagag said Aldi's.
Max, can you go back to the problem page? I can get there. Oh.
I think a lot about access to food, not only being able to afford it, but if there's a healthy food store in the general area that low-income people might live in. And so I wonder if these books are available to low-income families and they have kind of a roadmap of what foods they should get. If access to the actual supermarkets might remain a barrier for them.
Yeah, what I was hoping to do with the book was have a section which shows ways to find healthy stores, and I'm not sure if I was just to release it here and have it be just about San Francisco, because I know there's one that one of my teachers mentioned called $4 a day, and it has that but for just New York, so kind of like that maybe.
And model?
Yeah, I think that touches on my sort of questions, which was what other models are out there that you can research and learn from. So I love that you have already found one in New York, and I love that your ideas stemming from Tom's, which has already sort of used the buy one, donate one. So that's super cool. I'm wondering if there's any other models out there that would be worth researching. And then my other question is, when you've talked about your, can you go back to, either the independent or dependent variable? Okay, the next one. Oh yeah, I'm just wondering what research methods are you currently thinking would be best to gather your information?
I was thinking a survey of maybe I could have a link in one of the pages, and says after a month of this, enter if you have any responses you could put it here.
Max, the reason I wanted to look at the problem was I'm wondering if you're thinking about doing any research around what creates the problem of access to food, and it's sort of what Molly was talking around as well. And if so, what research methods are you thinking about?
Well, I haven't thought about that yet, but it seems like a good idea to research that.
Could you put that one in the notes?
I will.
That'd be great if you could pop any of these, if you could put them in the little table, because I want to be able to share this with Max so that he's
Okay.
able to reflect back on the conversation.
A good idea of what causes the problem, I think, will help make your solution very poignant.
Yeah. Narrower.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm wondering too, Max, if you have any examples of the recipes that you have that you're planning on putting in the book.
Well, I haven't gotten around to trying to make that yet, but I'm not really sure what our class plan is for going on and actually starting the project. I hope to start soon, because after this, I think I should be able to start the research.
And I guess the reason that I'm saying that is because when you know, after people have been eating fast food for a long time and they've sort of like, that's been their acquired taste, trying to get them turned on to things like brown rice and vegetables and, you know, things that actually are good for them is really difficult because it just doesn't taste good to them. I'm wondering, like, would there be any research, would it be worthwhile to do some research on how to transition from a diet like that to a diet that you're proposing?
Does any of this relate to like your personal view of healthy food?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's kind of a coincidence, that all the easily accessible food isn't as healthy, and it's probably easily accessible because it's not healthy. It's just easier to make. So personally, I've been trying to make more of my food, and instead of just like having cereal or something.
What inspired that?
I don't know. I just like cooking, and that's also what inspired this, partially.
I think this is a great idea also because helping with meal planning, you know, if you think about low-income families that might have children and time, that's one of the reasons they go to fast food restaurants. In a recipe book that also helps you meal plan, if they can make a lot of the meals, you know, over the weekend and be able to have something healthy to send with their children or themselves, it might be, you know, more possible to eat healthy throughout the week. So maybe even a focus of the book being, you know, here are the recipes, here's a way you can meal plan and have access to this throughout the week. Keeping in mind time is really a factor for people who are working and commuting and having kids. Yeah.
That's such an interesting point. Have you seen the show Queer Eye?
No.
Oh my God, this show is so great. It's these gay men, 5 gay men, go into these other men's houses and like do like a makeover. And it's like they fix their house, they change their decor. But one of the things they do is they change their diet. So there's one guy among the group that focuses on diet. But the big thing about it is that he actually goes into the house and cooks with the guy. Takes him to the grocery store, buys the food, goes to his kitchen, makes the meal, and that's sort of what gets these people over the hump, you know, where it just like, because they're stuck in these patterns, they can't get out. And by sitting there and doing it and then eating this delicious food, it gets them motivated. So
kind of like Blue Apron, except they don't deliver they don't deliver the food. You have to go get it yourself.
I guess, yeah. I don't know. I haven't heard of that, but
oh, it's basically like you sign up online and they send you like a certain amount of meals per week with a recipe for you to make. So, yeah.
I'm just wondering
sounds
what it would
like
be
what
like for like you to go into somebody's house and cook the meal with them.
Yeah.
Right. That would be so.
I wonder how you can replicate that feeling and the feeling of meal planning in your book. So what might make it different than just a recipe book is the like how-to pieces, whether it's like a weekly meal planning guide or like some tips for cooking. Maybe you have like a partner YouTube channel where you're actually cooking and teaching them, but all those different things to make it more interactive.
Yeah.
And like you mentioned, decreasing barriers to entry. So if you're like, this week you could make like 1 casserole and these salads or whatever, and that way they like understand how to package for the week or split it up.
And I just had a thought. There are some services like Imperfect Produce where you can have deliveries of fresh fruits and vegetables every week, and maybe even approaching these companies and partnering and having some kind of discount for low-income families. You know, them getting food delivered to them might decrease a barrier of not having any stores in the area. A question that's still remaining in my head is there's a big space between health nuts and perhaps low-income families, and creating that impetus, the feeling of like wanting to make this change. I wonder if how much of your population really is ready for that change, and if not, how do you get them there? Maybe even presenting a reason to make the change, and here's the how-to steps.
Okay.
Max, I think I heard you say that you haven't got a detailed plan of how you move forward. But do you know sort of when your deadline is and sort of some?
Yeah, I have these steps, but I just don't know like. I think. Oh yeah, can you go to the steps?
Oh, yeah.
I have these steps, but I'm not sure like what I have to do afterwards. I'm definitely going to change these steps after the ideas we've come up with here, and probably finish like a full plan.
Do you have a sense of the time you've got left and your deadline?
Like our project is basically, there's not supposed to be much to show by the time we're presenting, I think June 5th for the showcase. They said that it more of your process and documenting that, and showing like how far you've gotten and what you've been doing more than actually having a product.
Do you see working on this beyond the end of the school year?
Yeah, Hagag says she wants to work with me on it next year.
I hope so.
Who's your advisor?
It's a great project.
Partially.
No, who's your advisor?
Oh, Paul. Paul.
I wonder if in the survey that you're sending out about, people's favorite foods, asking kind of probing questions about, do you feel, your current diet has, enough healthy foods, or do you find it hard to access? Kind of finding if your population, is looking for certain things, and then your book could be a nice plug-in.
Okay. Yeah.
I also wonder, as you talk about this, like, part of this isn't just an education of, like, what is healthy and what is not. Like, I feel like, to your question about defining healthy, I think, like, sometimes people have no awareness that, like, a cheeseburger has, X number of calories and fat, and, like, what that does to your body, like, because they haven't been taught or they've never been exposed to that.
Yeah.
Where, like, you and us, like, we have that knowledge. So would part of your, and I guess this is like the teacher in me, is like wondering, for your audience, do you have a sense of like where they stand in their own knowledge of healthy?
Yeah, I could definitely include that in the survey. Like Molly said, kind of like, do you feel the food you eat is healthy?
Yeah, but they might say yes, because they might say like there's a tomato and a lettuce in this cheeseburger. Yeah, that's healthy. Do you know what I mean?
That's very
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Do you have experts that you want to talk to, and like what are they experts in?
I haven't thought about that yet.
Because one thing, as I hear us talking about surveys, is I'm a researcher. Survey making is an art, and it might be interesting to talk to somebody just to help you design the survey. And then maybe like a food expert or something, but like the people that can help you get the information you need as well.
Okay.
David, are you talking
Yeah, I'll think about
these?
that.
Oh, you're the best.
And if you do talk to a food expert, then if the book you're providing is already approved by somebody who knows what could be best for the population, that in itself could be the reason. Even if people aren't exactly sure what's healthy, but they know they want to be healthy, them seeing something that says, these recipes have been approved and recommended by, this expert in the field, that could be enough for somebody to really want to give that a try.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Nice. Okay, good.
It's just some feedback. It's nice to see how far you've come from a few weeks ago. You've really started to think about a problem and an area that you can be an agent of change, and that's really cool to see. I know that it took you a little while to think about how you could incorporate your passion for food into this, and you've come so far.
Can I ask a question about that? So in the steps you've taken so far, what have you found to be tough for you or a struggle? And how have you overcome those? And what have you engaged with, which is like, yeah, I can do that. So I'm just intrigued into your learning process.
Well,
so far.
I've my first version of this was not detailed, so I worked with Hagag on it, and she helped me make a lot of edits so that because earlier this year we had a problem, or not a problem, we did a lab, and it was like you have to really explain like everything. So that's what I did. That's what I did here. I made it really in depth, or way more in depth than it was before. So that was a little bit of an issue. But other than that, I mean, I've had some trouble taking incorporating other people's ideas into my and suggestions into my project.
And then what helped shift you to do that?
Well, I said that I would be more motivated if I got to present it, and yeah, that got me more motivated.
Cool.
Was this helpful?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
I think so. I've taken down notes on this doc that I know that Paul's going to take you through and sort of chat through with you. But it would be great if you guys then took what was here and even fleshed out possibly like more of the steps, or even thinking about your end goal, which is like learning exhibition. And even though that's not going to be like where the project ends, think about where you're going to get to by then, and then backwards plan, like sort of week by week, because I think there's about 3-4 weeks left.
4.
3
between now and June 5th.
2. I don't even know.
Well, 4, but one of them is barely a week.
Yeah. So that would be super cool, because then you're tracking. You know that you're on track when you hit certain milestones.
Mm-hmm.
And I can make a document that we can work on together to fill that out. And then, of course, anything that you feel like you want to incorporate, because this was a lot, and I wouldn't expect you to incorporate everything that's come from this, but you're going to be able to kind of pick and choose the things that are going to be most helpful. So, if you decide that you really love Allie's idea about talking to somebody about designing a survey, I'll help you find somebody.
She's right here.
Oh, and there she is. I found somebody. Yeah, that was easy. Would you be willing to do that?
I turned into a pumpkin after July, but yes. Before that, absolutely.
All right. So there you go.
And I don't know, I loved sort of the combination of ideas, and it got me thinking about other programs that are out there. And so, people do like Whole30, or they do, this program, and they always have like that convincing why, like why this book, or why is it worth your time going healthy? And I think you have some really key points like time, cost, nutrition, and so I think you can really build that out into some really powerful whys, and then building in like the program sort of like a week by week menu or a shopping list or all of that sort of stuff. I think that can be really cool.
I've learned also from my wife, who works at Kaiser. She works in the health ed department at Kaiser. But one of the things that, she works in the smoking cessation program there. And part of the reason that it's been really successful is that one of the main things they focus on is vanity. Here's what it does to your skin when you're smoking too much. Here's what it looks like to with this. Here's all the things that it does to you physically. Right? And that really motivates people because nobody wants to be ugly.
Maybe because I'm trying to appeal to lower income families, show like the financial not benefits. Like if you keep eating unhealthily, you have to get numerous surgeries or something.
Your healthcare.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah. Good idea.
Yeah, let's add that.
Yeah.
Because there are so many
Really
statistics of certain diets leading to, diabetes, heart disease, and those costs down the line.
And another one of the things in the documentary, it was basically that he, the dad, it was a family. The dad had diabetes and a couple other diseases, so he had to spend a lot of their money on medication, which probably wouldn't have happened if they were eating, or it wouldn't have happened if they were eating healthfully in the first place.
And when parents set that up for their children, and their children then learn to eat healthy, it saves them a lifetime of potential, diseases and money.
Yeah.
That's your great why, and putting it into relatable terms that resonate.
I think that's brilliant.
Can I ask a quick debrief question of Max? So coming into this is the first time you've done this, so what did you think you may have gotten out of this half an hour? What did you want? Okay, I'll frame it again.
Sorry.
So coming into this presentation,
Yeah.
3 questions.
Okay.
So what did you want to get out of this 30 minutes? What did you think you would get out of this 30 minutes? And what have you actually got out of this 30 minutes?
Well, I came in thinking that I would get some suggestions and like ideas to move forward. What was the second one again?
So what did you think you'd get out of it? So what you wanted to get out of it, maybe.
Yeah, that's what I wanted. I wanted to get suggestions out of it, and I got suggestions out of it, and that's what I thought I was going to get.
So coming in, was your impression it's going to be more about talking around your thought process and your learning process, or did you think it was going to be about, hey, give me some ideas for what my content is?
I thought it was going to be like what I could do to make it better.
The content or your learning process? Sorry, tough question.
What do you mean by your learning process?
So you've talked about sort of your plan and your steps and where you're going with this. So that's the process of learning.
Okay.
You've also talked about what you're learning. So I'm just wondering, when you came into this, did you think you were going to get more feedback around your learning process and suggestions about how you can learn differently? Or was it about, here's some content ideas, write a book, do a shoe thing? So it's two very different sort of approaches.
I thought I was going to get more learning process ideas than of content ideas.
And what do you feel like you got more of?
I think I got more learning process ideas, but like more content ideas than I expected. But they were really helpful.
I don't know if you have other fellow students doing this, but if one of your peers was going to go into this tomorrow and do a similar presentation, what advice or suggestions would you give them?
Be clear with what you're saying in your slides, and take time going through them, and then like the notes sheet is a good idea, the recording's a good idea, and then also definitely encourage questions and ideas.
Do you have any feedback for us?
Not really, no. Thanks for coming.
Thank you. Thanks for doing this.
Okay.
This is awesome.
All right, thank you guys for showing up.